time that I am painting a piece of furniture with a new type of paint. It's Americana Decor, and I am going to mix Treasure with the Primitive. And these are 8-ounce little containers, and I actually have 2 of the Primitive. So what I'm gonna do is mix these 2 paints, 1 part of Treasure, 2 parts Primitive, to make a really kind of nice teal, kind of duck egg color for this piece of furniture. So this piece of furniture was just dropped off by one of my friends, and what's awesome about this paint is that you don't need to do any prep work. The only thing you need to do is wipe down the piece of furniture with a little bit of dish soap and a towel, some a little damp, not wet, but damp, just to make sure you get all the dust off, get all the, you know, surface level dirt, all that kind of stuff, and then let it dry a little bit, and then you can start painting. You don't have to sand, you don't have to prime, you don't have to do anything. It doesn't matter what kind of finish. Chalk paint is designed to go on literally everything. You know, so if you have a gloss to something, this one actually doesn't have any kind of gloss. It doesn't matter. It goes on smooth, it goes on quick, and it dries really fast. So anyway, so the first step is to wipe it down. So that's what we're gonna do. Just wipe down a piece of furniture. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, just enough to get the dust off, any surface level dirt, stains, whatever. Just so long as it's smooth when you're putting the paint on. So we'll just wipe all of this down. Okay, so this is a roll top desk. So this will be interesting when we paint, but you want to wipe off all of the crannies here. This is beautiful. Apologize for my back being to you. Okay, so I moved everything kind of around so you can see how the paint goes on a little bit better. So I already mixed up the paint, and I mentioned before that it was going to be 2 parts of Primitive and 1 part of Treasure. So here we go. So I'm going to use a small roll pin to do the top flat surfaces first, and it's just easier, it takes a little bit less time, and this stuff dries really quickly. So we want to go ahead and make sure we get it on there quick. Okay, ready? Here we go. Because this is sort of a chalk paint, you don't have to worry about getting it 100% even unless that's your style, unless you like it to be kind of smooth brush strokes, you know, even across the board, but you don't have to. It's designed to kind of have no, you know, streaks, and there's no mess up basically. You can't mess up with this paint. It's impossible. Really, really pretty. And you don't have to go in any specific pattern. You can go back and forth, make an X, you know, do whatever makes you feel good. And you don't even have to get full coverage. If that's not the look you're going for, if you're looking for like a more antique look, you don't have to do full coverage. Already kind of drying, so just make sure that when you go over, there's no like clumps of paint, so that it, you know, has a nice flat surface, no bumpies. And you don't have to use a roller. You can use a regular paintbrush. I know that they sell, you know, the specific paintbrushes for like the Americana Decor Paint, and I do have those, but you don't need them. You don't need them at all. It goes on just as nice. And actually, I'll switch to one just so you can see how the application is just the same. So this is an Americana Decor paintbrush. Very, very soft. And this is a big one, so we'll go ahead and just, you know, fill fill in. There's no rhyme or reason to how you put it on. Changed clothes. I took a break yesterday and came back at it this morning. So the next step is going to be sanding. You don't have to if you don't want to, but for this particular piece, I'm going to antique some of the edges and then also to wax. So I have a clear wax and I have the supplies that I'm going to show you, okay? So the first thing, and you can do this in either order. You can sand first or wax first, whichever is your preference. You get a little bit more dust when you sand first versus waxing, either way. But I'm going to sand first. So I have this little square, small grit sandpaper that I'm gonna use. I have a couple of these. You probably only need one. It doesn't even have to be this square. As long as it's sort of a small grit sandpaper, it will work. So I'm gonna go around the edges with this, and I'll demonstrate that. And then afterwards, I'm going to use a clear wax. This is the Americana Decor brand. You don't need this brand. I just bought it because I had the Americana paint. So this is a clear coat. It's going to seal and protect your furniture. It's going to dry quickly, dry clear. And also, here's the brush that I'm going to use. See how it's kind of like a blush brush, like a makeup brush? So you can also use this for paint, but I'm going to use it for the wax. And you don't have to use a brush for the wax. You could also use a lip-free rag. So I have one of those. What I'm going to do is brush on the wax with the brush that I have, and then kind of go back over with the lip-free towel to make sure that everything's smooth and clear, and it kind of has the sheen that I want. Okay? So those are the things that you're going to need now. Also, one thing, you can use this on unpainted wood. So if you just have a piece of furniture that you want to seal or that you want it to have a nice sheen to it, this is good on unfinished wood as well. Okay? So where we're going to start with this is on the edges that would get normal wear and tear if it were a true antique piece. And those are typically like here. See how we have the boxed in drawers? So you're going to get a little bit on those edges here, okay? And you can do as little or as much as you prefer. I'm not going to go crazy with this piece because, again, this is for a friend, and so for me, I would probably go a little bit more crazy, but I think that she'll probably like it if it's just, you know, slightly done, okay? So we're just going to go around, again, on these edges. I don't know if you can see, I'll bring the camera closer in a little bit, up close so you can see how it's looking on the drawers. And then also, I'm just kind of like to do like a circular motion when doing your surfaces. It kind of gets all the imperfections off, any brush strokes that you have once you've seen that your paint's dry. Makes it a little bit smoother, and then it'll kind of naturally fade. So you'll see some of the wood pop through, and it's really beautiful. Okay, so now we're gonna do the wax. It kind of looks like a white milky color, but it dries clear. So let's just get started. A little bit goes a long way. So I'm gonna do the top of the desk first. I'm gonna go behind it with a rag. So just brush it on, long strokes. You wanna go the length so you don't get any uneven spots. And we're done. So thanks so much for following this tutorial. I hope you learned something, and happy DIY.